Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I am Steve G, and what we have this time is the Karaku Awagami Super Santoku 165mm knife. So this has, as the name indicates, the steel on this. It's a 3-layer construction, and what it has is a soft iron reactive cladding over the top of the core steel down the middle, which is Awagami Blue Paper Super reactive high carbon steel. Heat treat on that's typically around the 63 Rockwell range, so this steel is really nice for kitchen knives. It can maintain a really nice edge because of the hardness of it. It's not too hard to sharpen. It's a little bit less forgiving being high hardness, but the Awagami Super is great stuff. Again, it's reactive, so is the cladding, so you do have to keep this knife clean and dry when you're not using it. Don't let it sit wet, but you'll be rewarded with a nice patina over time. Where it kind of starts getting a stain on the cladding and the core, and starts to take its own character as you use it. This does include a food-safe lacquer finish. It's kind of shiny, you'll see that, which means the out-of-the-box edge was okay. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. A lot of times what happens is the KU finish, the lacquer finish goes kind of down, and when they coat it, they coat the edge as well. So I stropped it a little bit, but the edge, you can get this as sharp as really your skills will allow, but just keep in mind it might need a little touch up when you get it. Or if you're not a sharpener, have Chef Knives to Go, pay for their sharpening service on this and have them sharpen it up for you. So let's take a look at the construction. We did that, and the weight and dimensions, which can vary a little bit from knife to knife since these are hand hammered. This one is 141 grams or 5.0 ounces. The handle is oak octagonal urushi, which is this burnt finish here. We'll take a look at the handle a little bit closer. Edge length is right about 170 on the nose, which is about 6.7 inches from the tip to the back of the heel. Overall length, a little over 12 inches, about 308 millimeters from the tip to the back of the handle. And these are fairly stiff blades, actually quite stiff. They're pretty thick coming out of the handle. This one was about 4.1 millimeters thick on the spine, but then it thins out really fast and got down to about 2 millimeters halfway down where it counts. So it pretty much keeps at 2-ish millimeters, maybe bumps up just a touch right here, but about 2 millimeters thick as we go down. And then you can see where the grind starts. Not real high grind up as far as how far it goes up the knife, and it thins out pretty good towards the tip, but behind the tip's a little thicker. So this isn't going to like ghost through stuff, but it should be a pretty good compromise. It does get pretty thin right at the grind, at the edge. Come on. There we go. So it thins out pretty nicely right there. So this should go through stuff pretty good, have some decent food separation on it. Height about 46.4 on this sample. The choil curves into the neck. It's not a big gap for your fingers, so you just have to kind of put your finger in there, but there's plenty of clearance on the cutting board. This handle, as mentioned before, is an octagonal oak handle with a uruchi or burnt finish that's faded towards the front, and they've done a good job of sealing up where that tang goes into the handle. So nice job there. Handle's a little on the heavier side of oak's a dense wood, so that brings the balance point right about there on this. Now from a pinch grip perspective, that's a little bit towards the handle from a pinch grip, so it's a little bit handle heavy on the balance point. Not much, but a little bit, depending on how you like to hold your knife. Let's do our beauty shot here. You'll see there it's got a little shine to it, and that's that lacquer finish. Even when that's off, this will be a pretty smooth Kuda-uchi finish. This is known as the KU or Kuda-uchi blacksmith kind of protective finish underneath that. Here's the grind, here's your cladding, and then here's your core steel right there. It's got some embossed kanji on the right side of the blade. And then here's the left side of the blade. They've got some embossed kanji there as well. Again, that's that lacquer that's going to wear off as you use it, and then as that starts wearing off, you'll see the patina start to develop on the cladding and core steel. In terms of fit and finish, they have done a little bit of work on the spine, so they've taken some of the corners off the spine edges, which is nice, and they've also done a fair amount of file work and cleanup here on the choil, so it's pretty well ready to go out of the box outside, maybe sharpening up the edge a little bit. let's take a look at the cutting board profile on the edge. All right, so as you'll see, this has a very low tip. Even for a traditional Santoku, that's quite low, so it's not really going to rock well, but you'll see there's a bit of a flat spot towards the back. Looks like on this particular knife I've got a little bit of a fulcrum point there that could be sharpened out if you wanted to tweak the edge a little bit. But this one is, so it does have rather flat spot towards the back. If you were to work that out, then you would even get flatter towards the back half of the blade. The tip's very low, so I'm actually getting it right up in there for the tip wants to dig in. So you could you could rock over short stuff with this, but not anything too tall with the way the tip is right now. But tip draws would be great. You don't have to lift the handle very high. Excuse me. Push pull cuts, glide cuts, a little bit of chopping towards the back. So pretty versatile profile. But definitely not much for rocking over medium or large stuff. So just good all-around kind of traditional construction, Awagami Super for some edge retention, and just kind of traditional construction and materials. This is the Karaku Awagami Super Santoku 165mm knife from Chef Knives to Go.